Greek gods were the experts in all things punishment, some of which I probably shouldn't even be talking about, so let's see if I get in trouble today. According to Greek legend, Prometheus was a titan, a race of heavenly creatures that preceded the Olympian gods. Prometheus meant foresight and was very famous for his cunning nature and the many tricks up his sleeve. So Greek legend also credits him with having created humans from clay, and also, just a little thing, being the champion of mankind in the halls of heaven. The latter title eventually became a source of eternal torment for Prometheus. So he had initially been one of the leaders that wanted to wage war over the reign of the heavens against the Olympian gods, when the Olympian gods sprang up to replace the Titans. However, after his fellow leaders refused to heed Prometheus's intellect, foresight, and trickery, he switched sides and joined the Olympians, and that helped the Olympian gods defeat the Titans. Despite helping the gods to defeat his race, Prometheus got on the wrong side after backing humanity against the god. So Prometheus got on Zeus's bad side when he tricked the latter into accepting the bones and fat of sacrificial animals instead of their meat. This foundational precedent allowed humans to sacrifice animals to the gods by burning bones and fat while keeping the meat for themselves. An enraged Zeus, which very scary thing, reacted by taking away fire and its secrets from humans, forcing them to eat raw meat and suffer from cold at night. In a classic show of Zeus pettiness, he prohibited anybody from letting humanity know the secrets of fire. However, Prometheus defied Zeus by stealing fire from Mount Olympus and sneaking it down to Earth to share with mankind and help us survive. When Zeus looked down upon the face of the earth and saw that the darkness of the land had been expelled by fire, well, he was kind of angry. So then Zeus sent Pandora down to Earth with a box, and upon the removal of the box's lid, all kinds of evils that could plague humanity were unleashed. Disease, war, plague, death, and the need for constant labor to survive. Thanks, big guy. Only hope was left inside the box, which kept humanity struggling despite the odds. As for Prometheus, Zeus severely punished him by taking him down to the Caucasus Mountains, where Zeus chained Prometheus to all rock. Every day, a giant eagle would fly in and tear at Prometheus's skin and feast on his liver, and due to his immortality, the liver regrew every night, and the eagle would return the next day, subjecting Prometheus to eternal punishment, a fate worse than death. After he accidentally discovered a flute cast away by Athena, Marsyas was reckless enough to challenge Apollo to a contest. The two agreed to the terms that the winner could do anything to the defeated one. Naturally, M lost to the god. As punishment, well, let's just say all that skin went and then Apollo transformed him into a stream. And you don't want to know what happened next. Tantalus was a king of Sipylus in Lydia, located in western Anatolia. Greek legend also has it that he was the father of Pelops, after whom Peloponnesius was named. Tantalus was also the great-grandfather of Menelaus, who was the king of Sparta and the husband of Helen of Troy, and Agamemnon, you know, the brother of the guy that led the Greeks into the Trojan War. We're not going to try any more Greek names or Roman names. Help me here. Thanks to being the offspring of Zeus and a nymph, and thanks to that status as being the offspring of a god, Tantalus was intimate with gods and was allowed to dine with them at their heavenly table. However, Tantalus kind of took advantage of this privilege, committing various atrocities that angered the Olympian gods and subsequently brought punishment upon himself. One offense of the king was that he stole ambrosia and nectar, which was the food of the gods, and gave it to the humans. He was also a loose mouth and spilled to mortals the many secrets that he had learned. A lot of big no-nos. Now, these atrocities could not equate with one which angered the gods the most. Tantalus killed his son and offered him to the gods at a banquet in a bid to test their observatory skills. Well, the only deity that touched the food was Demeter, who only ate the food because she had been distracted by the death of Persephone, Demeter's daughter. She absent-mindedly ate the shoulders at the banquet. So the rest of the deities immediately gathered to the rest of the body parts and restored Pelops to life, with the god Hephaestus granting Pelops bronze shoulders. And Zeus, once again, more than eager to dish out punishment to the errant king. Zeus destroyed Tantalus and personally ensured that the soul ended up in, Hades land, the underworld, the bad place. The chief god of Hades devised a punishment that eventually became a proverbial term for temptation amongst English speakers. So Tantalus was kept in a pool of water beneath a fruit tree that had low branches. Whenever Tantalus wanted to eat from the tree, the wind would shift the branches away. Whenever he wanted to take a drink, the river flowed away from him. Therefore, Tantalus was kind of tormented day and night with everlasting hunger and thirst, despite having water and fruit nearby. survive. So it is from this Greek mythology of the king desperately wanting something that felt so close yet beyond reach that we derived the English word tantalize. Look, you learned something new today. One day, Zeus was kind enough to invite Ixion to Olympus as a guest. However, when the mortals saw Hera, Zeus's wife, he was attracted to her. He made his move to seduce her. Zeus decided to test Ixion's loyalty and made a cloud copy of his wife. Well, Buddy fell for it, somehow impregnated the cloud Hera, who later bore the monster Tantalus, and Zeus was ticked. So Zeus blasted the guy with his powerful lightning bolt and bound him to a burning wheel that would spin forever. And this guy was forced to repeat the words, "Repay your benefactor frequently with gentle favors in return for eternity." You might already know Medusa as the monster with hissing snakes on her head, but before she was Medusa, she was a very pretty young woman. She was so pretty that Poseidon took a liking to her and harmed her in Athena's temple, and this ticked off Athena, who turned Medusa's hair into snakes so that she would no longer be such a temptress. Poor Medusa. What better way to depict the bizarre wrath of the Greek gods than with a story of wrong place, wrong time, instead of just, you ticked off Zeus and here's what happened. This is the story of Actaeon, a famous Theban hunter and hero who had endured a divine punishment for doing absolutely nothing. So according to legend, Actaeon loved to hunt in the backwoods of his region, Boeotia. Actaeon had honed his hunting skills under the legendary centaur Chiron, so a mythical creature whose lower body resembles that of a horse and the upper body of a human, was like this legendary figure, known for grooming Achilles of Iliad. So Chiron was the one responsible for Actaeon's ardent passion for hunting, and sadly that would kind of be the undoing of Actaeon. On one fateful day, while he was out hunting with his dogs, just as one does, our buddy accidentally stumbled upon the goddess of chastity, Artemis, having her bath in the forest with some wood nymphs. Artemis was livid at the fact that somebody had bumped into her while she was in the nude, although it was not entirely Buddy's fault. So in her anger, she turned him into a stag. Now our poor stag, scared and helpless, began to bound into the forest. Unfortunately, his own dogs picked up his scent and could not recognize their master in his new form. So sadly, they chased him down because he was just a stag, and well, they did what dogs do when you're hunting dogs. A popular form of killing and punishing folks in the classical world was chucking offenders from a height, typically from a cliff, where the community would see them paint the hard ground below red. This legal lobbing from heights was used a lot in ancient Greece, and then the Romans did it a lot as well. They used it from the Tarpeian Rock, pretty well known today. If you were guilty of crimes like killing somebody, you'd be launched. Away you go, and that kind of sent you down the side of Capitoline Hill to death about 25 meters below. Now the Tarpeian Rock was used for public deaths in Rome for 2,500 years, quite a bit of time. Now when you think about all the different ways that Romans killed people, it's kind of wild. They consider this one of the worst ways to go, because there was a lot of shame attached. And that's all for today folks, I've been Alexa, see ya! So as for Prometheus, Zeus severely... Every day a giant eagle would... Marsyas was oh yeah. So being the offspring of Zeus and a nymph, that minor... Being the offspring of Zeus and a nymph, and due to his status as the child of a... She absentmindedly ate the shoulders of Peplop. She absentmindedly ate the